Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. And today we're going to take on the Saturday Stumper, the brutally difficult crossword puzzle edited by Stanley Newman and intended to be more difficult than your usual New York Times Saturday or Sunday puzzle. The constructor today is David P. Williams, and when I saw the name I went and checked. So 2 weeks ago I did a crossword by David P. Williams and was able to get not a crossword, but a Saturday Stumper crossword specifically. I did a Saturday Stumper constructed by David P. Williams 2 weeks ago and was able to get it with no hints, which is a little unusual for me for the Saturday Stumper. So we'll see how it goes today. Maybe that's a hint that we'll have some success today. I think it's not necessarily the constructor that injects a level of difficulty as much as it is Stanley Newman's editing. So no theme for the Stumper, usually a lot of misdirection. So with every clue, I'm trying to think of as many possible meanings for the various words in the clue. And it will probably be a while before I get anything in the grid, so you might want to start watching on double speed. All right, let's start the timer and get into the puzzle. Breathtaking effort for one across. Don't know. One down is gift you will hear about. No, two down, formidable ones in flight. Formidable ones in flight. No, three down is get too hot. Four down is what some decks are made for. We had breathtaking effort for one across. 12 across is what's past prologue. Not what's past is prologue, but what is past the prologue. The body comes after the prologue. Gift you'll hear about. Not sure about that. 15 across is refusal to return. Nope. 16 down, attribute or attribute. 13 down is what the Museum der Kulturen overlooks. It sounds, I think that's German, so maybe it overlooks the Rhine, probably something in Germany. Rhine is my guess there. 13 across, no joke. Nope. 5 across, bed topper. I'm thinking maybe something like a bed of rice or some kind of food item. So row comes to mind. Dazed and confused for 5 down. 6 down, net. Could be earn. 7 down, what comes in rounds? What comes in rounds? No, 13 across, no joke. 15 across is the refusal to return. 18 across is inaugurated. No, 20 across, raised figure. Okay, none of these are clicking. Let's try this corner. 8 across, give and take. They are verbs. They are what? 14 across, promissory note. This one has a question mark. So IOU doesn't fit and also wouldn't justify the question mark, I think. So I think it's something different than IOU. Some other note that has some kind of connotation of promise. 17 across, slow movement. Is it music or just slow movement, like creeping something, to move slowly, or a slow movement in a piece could be an adagio or a lento. 19 across, put together for keeps. And 21 across moves back and forth a bit. Nope, 19 down is brat, for example. Or brat, it could be a bratwurst. Maybe this is a kind of wurst. I'm going to take a chance. I don't like to guess, but I've got to get something in the puzzle to work with. But usually my early guesses end up misleading me later on. I'm going to think brat is a kind of wurst, a kind of sausage. 14 down, present day mover. No, 8 down is put on ice. 9 down, well, chill. Or chilled. Nope. 9 down, inertia antonym. Sort of. Antonym is the opposite of inertia. Momentum is sort of the opposite of inertia, although inertia inertia is momentum, isn't it? Body, so inertia means the tendency to stay at rest. Bodies that rest tend to stay at rest, and bodies in motion tend to remain in motion. So I'm not sure what is going on there. 10 down is cut down to size, trim, pare, tailor, alter, like a garment. You alter it, cut it to the correct size. Put together for keeps. Wedded. Put is a past tense put there, which figuring out the tense of the verb is often part of the battle in the Saturday Stumper. But two people who were put together for keeps would be wedded. Slow motions. No, sorry. Yeah, 11 down is slow motions. Probably ends in S. 21 across is moves back and forth a bit. Probably ends in S. I'm going to go ahead and chance that. Slow motions. Give and take. Loan? No. Promissory note. Slow movement. I'm going to guess lento as a movement in a piece of music. Plods for slow motions, maybe? 14 down is present day mover. 8 down, put on ice. And inertia, antonym. Moves back and forth a bit. Okay, 22 across is triviality. Well, 22 down is big name in crisis management. This may be the name of a PR firm that's famous for crisis management. I don't know. 23 down, trail guide. No, 24 down, Intel CPU accelerator. This is some kind of chip. CPU is the central processing unit of a computer. Intel makes components for computers. I don't know what it is. 4 down, what some decks are made for. 26 across is raised figure. 16 down is attribute. 31 across is barreled. You barreled down the road, you sped down the road. A guess there. 34 across, this blank of the earth. Quote from Shakespeare. This blank of the earth. Son of the earth? Son of the earth? 22 down, triviality. No, big name in crisis management. Trail guide. Well, maps, but it's singular. Could it end in P-O? Trail guide. Nope. 24 down, Intel CPU accelerator. 37 across is overly eager. Okay, maybe let's try this center section. 27 across, address line. Not sure. Check in progress, or a check in progress, a barrier or an obstacle in your progress. Check in progress. Now 32 down, open positions. 5 down is dazed and confused. 25 down is pointless. Blunt, I'm thinking like a weapon whose point has been removed would be blunted. Address line. Check in progress. $35 across. 27 across. Direction. Address line. So my first thought is the line on an address, like on an envelope. So name, street, state, zip code, something like that. Or address can be a speech. And that's kind of making me thinking of class, like a teacher addressing the class, but I don't think that's right. And then direction for the address line. Yeah, I don't know. What about over here? 28 across is blank coat. 33 across is capital sounding queen. A queen that sounds like a capital city? Or it sounds like excellent capital, old chap. Queen Anne, Queen Mary, Queen B, like a capital B. 36 across, cashiers. To be cashiered can be to be fired. Is it fires? 30 down, poaching target. Eggs, an egg. I used to like poached egg on toast when I was a kid. 29 down, countertop. Now 33 down is a stall of a sort. And 36 down, heavyweight in the water. That might be a whale. I'll take out cashiers because I'm not sure about that. Does this give us anything to work with? .42 across, ecdysis in ornithology. Ornithology is the study of birds. I don't know what ecdysis means, and don't see any root words from Greek or Latin that I recognize. But it has something to do with birds. Could it be beak? Ecdysis might be the fancy word for a bird's beak. 39 down, Filipino languages name. Tagalog is the only one I can think of. I know there are lots of languages spoken in the Philippines. Nope, 21 down is major breakthrough. Okay, I'm not sure about whale or beak. I'll leave it in for the time being. But I try to remember to be prepared to think that those are wrong. 40 across is West Indies Isle, taking euros. So there are a lot of islands in the West Indies that are part of European countries or would accept European currency. Any of the Dutch islands and the ABC islands. There's also French and British possessions. I think there still might be one or two Danish or others there. 43 across, work on a farm. No, 47 across, emerged. No, 50 across, goes without. To go without is to forbear, to... No, 53 across, grooming candidates. Dogs. Candidates for grooming. Things that would need to be groomed, like hairdos, dogs, pets. What's 40 down? Break the law by one's own admission. By one's own admission. 41 is to perjure yourself. I think by making a statement, you're breaking the law. So you're breaking the statement itself is breaking the law. You're not admitting to breaking the law. Is it libel? No. 41 down. Sharp spasm, a twinge, a pang, something like twinge, a word like that. But we need 5 letters. 38 down is picks apart. 35 down is extreme sports. And 32 down is open positions. Positions in a tournament, like a U.S. Open. Seeds. Could you be seated in an open tournament? A check in progress. Is it a stunt somehow? How is that a check in progress? Direction. Having something to do with an address line. See me? Overly eager. Okay, have I looked at all these? 44 across is really receptive. 48 across makes space. Clears. Moves. 48 down, break down. 44 down is nutrient-rich styling agent. I'm thinking something you put in your hair that styles it, but also is rich in nutrients. Would aloe be used in that way? Really receptive. 21 down is a major breakthrough, and 39 down is a Filipino language. Really receptive. 48 across makes space. 51 across is color of cattle, cats, etc. Is there a common color? Or is there a word in animal husbandry for the color of an animal? 54 across, sure statement. A sure statement. Yes, you're saying it to agree with somebody. 44 down, that's the kind of like aloe for that. 21 down, end in a B. A major breakthrough. Not sure about that. 39 down, Filipino language. 33 down is stall of a sort. A stall can be like a kiosk, a booth, or a delay, or stall of an aircraft. I'm thinking more along the lines of a booth. 45 down, give in to 9 down. 9 down is the opposite of inertia. If you give in to something like momentum or something that puts a halt to your continuous motion, you flag, you tire. 46 down, went after. Followed, ensued. Sued. 49 down, blank quarti, asti almost. What does that mean? Blank quarti, asti almost. I know asti is a region of Italy and a kind of wine that comes from there. So we're looking for an Italian word that means almost, that is used in a phrase, blank quarti, as in almost. I don't know what that means. Okay, give up. To cede. Would tre quarti be 3/4 in asti? I don't know that. I just want to put 3 in the corner so I can sing. Went after. Okay, I like a D ending there. Went after, sued, or something like that. This could be tire. This could be sued. Stall of a sort. Really receptive. Yeah, and I'm doubting that. Tire and Sue pairing there. Makes space. Yeah, I don't like that. Non-stop. Okay, let's take out all of this. I should probably take this out too. Well, this is where I've got things in the puzzle. Let's try this corner. Give and take. Swap. Giving something and taking something else. Plods. He plods. He moves slowly. So not an exact synonym, but that often occurs in the Saturday Stumper where the clue isn't quite synonymous, but kind of just gives you the same sense. It's a little unfair, but they do it quite a bit. Your will is a promissory note. You're promising things to your heirs. Is it I will or something like that? Wanderlust. Yeah, so inertia could be the urge to stay at home and do nothing, but wanderlust, the desire to roam and wander and see the world, is the antonym of that. So if you give into wanderlust, you roam or you rove. Just going to put an RO there to make me think of that when I come back down to that section. So, and that's not will. A promissory note is shall. Not a note, but a word that means you promise to do something. I shall do it. Put on ice. No. Present day mover. Well, that doesn't click. Okay. Moves back and forth a bit. Shudders or something like that. Is this another past tense verb? Does it end in ed? Seated. Put on ice. I've got something else wrong in here. 21 across, moves back and forth. It jiggles. It something. I don't know. Triviality for 22 across. I should be able to get this. Present day mover. Why is it present day? A mover, present day can mean Christmas. I've seen that before. So a sleigh is something that moves Santa on present day, on Christmas. Let's try shall for a promissory note. Promissory note. Quivers is moves back and forth. This would be a U, and then the triviality is a nothing burger. Yes, that fits. So shedvi is obviously not right. For put on ice, to shelve is to put something on ice, and welded means put together for keeps. Okay, so I was thinking along the wrong lines of, I thought of wedding union, but welded fits, and we just change one letter, and suddenly this makes sense. So Wurst is right. Sleigh is a mover on present day, on Christmas. To shelve something is to defer action on it, to put it on ice. In that sense, wanderlust, alter. Plods, again, not quite an exact synonym of slow motions, but it gives us the sense of moving in slow motion. Note isn't really a synonym for word, is it? A promissory word would probably be better. I shall do it, I guess. Okay. Lento, welded, quivers. All right, we got a corner done. That's good. And we're 22 minutes into the puzzle. I'd like to get these done in closer to a half hour. So a slash in an internet address, maybe. Is that what it is? HTTP/, that kind of thing? And what was the direction one? So a direction for a slash. I'm not sure I'm getting that. 21 down, major breakthrough. A quantum leap is a major breakthrough in something. So let's take out beak, which I was kind of liked, but yeah, we'll get rid of that. Okay, quantum leap. Stunt. No, a shunt. A shunt is a check in progress. It shunts you off of the forward progress and puts you onto a side road or a side rail. Okay, that works. Direction /. I'm not getting that. I'm dazed and confused, like 5 down. No, but maybe we can get the stuff down in this corner with this quantum leap crossing. Okay, overly eager. Overly eager. No, 42 across. Ecdysis in ornithology. Could that be the molting, the loss of feathers seasonally? A molt could be ecdysis, maybe. Filipino languages name. 36 down, heavyweight in the water. Again, I'm thinking seal, whale here. I'm thinking of other large marine animals like whales or seals or walruses or... Am I missing the meaning here? Does it mean something else? Could be a kind of ship. Super tanker or something like that. Really receptive. All ears. It really helps once I get some crossing letters that I know are right. 44 down. I'm going to try aloe. I don't know that that's right. Then sure statement could be yep. I was thinking yes might fit there. And I was thinking, what was I thinking for 4 down? Break down. To cry. To break down crying. Roan is a color for horses, I know, so maybe it can also be used for cats and cattle. Makes space, clears out. I was thinking of clears as the beginning, and that's, I had whale in there telling me that it was wrong. Maybe an oiler. A large ship in the water could be an oiler, an oil tanker. Then, okay, there's a Filipino language name, and I don't know this one, so I'm going to have to get the letter from solving 37 across. 33 down is stall of a sort. 45 down I think is going to be either roam or rove for give in to wanderlust. Went after, let's try sued again there. Non-stop, ever. It goes on forever and ever. Then we get rove. We get tre, quatre, and we put seed back in for give up. We do get 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Little shout out to the good folks over at Cracking the Cryptic. If you don't know that YouTube channel, you should definitely check it out if you're interested in cryptic crosswords or Sudoku puzzles. Capital sounding queen. Cashiers. I think going back to the sense of cashier as a synonym for fire could be oust. Stall of a sort. So you might say just a sec to stall for time. Queen Judy? Queen Juno. Could be queen of the heavens in Roman mythology. Why is that capital sounding? I'm not getting that. 29 down, countertop. Could it be anti? Could top mean up? We're asking for a prefix that means counter. The counter argument would be the anti side. Overly eager. Yeah, I don't really like that. Lab coat for blank coat. poaching target. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Let's take out anti. I do like ousts for cashiers. So a poaching target would be a game poacher. So is it some kind of animal that you poach, or you try and poach the best employee from your competitor, something like that? Or poaching is also a cooking method for eggs or other things. Yeah, maybe looking for the best employee from your competitor would be the one that you want to poach. Go back to lab coat. Go back to anti. Overly eager. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't understand Queen June. Okay, well, I kind of justified it in my mind, but it still doesn't make sense. Is it the boss? You try and poach the boss? We'll have to come back to that. I still don't understand how Lent is a direction for slash. Is it telling us which direction the slash goes? Backslash or forward slash? I don't know that. Okay. If you are overly eager, you are Johnny on the spot. You are something istic. You can poach pears. Yes. Okay. A Bosch pear. Poached pears are delicious. Then we get Queen Juno. I don't know why she's capital sounding. Something heuristic. Overly eager. Adventuristic. That makes sense. So Roland is the name of a Filipino language, I guess. Euler. I don't really understand what capital is telling us for capital sounding queen. And I don't really understand how Juno is a queen, other than that she is the spouse of Jupiter in Roman mythology. Jupiter and Juno, the equivalent of Zeus and Hera in Greek mythology. So she's a queen of Olympia in that sense. Why is she capital sounding? Because it's a homophone of Juneau, the state capital of Alaska. Okay. I think that's right. And countertop, I think the fact that this is a down clue, we are using some of the conventions from cryptic crosswords here. So we've got homophone indicator here. We've got, if this were in a cross clue, I don't think you would call this the top of counter, but because we could put another word under this, like antimatter, and then anti would be the top that means counter for antimatter. Okay, I think that's right. I'm going to trust that this is right. I like adventuristic for overly eager. So then what is this? Dazed and confused. I don't know. West Indies Isle. Is it Saint something? Seeds, I'm not sure about, to be honest. Although I like this S and I like this E. 35 down has a V as the second letter. Extreme sports. Nope. Work on a farm. What about this? A, does that help for 24 down? The Intel CPU accelerator. Is it the something chip? Raised figure. I think I've sped. "23 down, trail guide." It's frustrating because we got the whole right side of the puzzle done. If you are dazed and confused, you are something shane, shan't. I like shunt and I like slash. Okay. Think again. Breathtaking effort. If it's an effort to take a breath, you might be gasping. Maybe. A gift you'll hear about. The gift of gab is a phrase for someone who is good at talking. They have the gift of gab, so you'll hear about them using their gift because they're talking to you. Formidable ones in flight. Aces are good pilots, good aviators. 3 down, get too hot. To sear? Searing heat, is that what we're talking about here? What's past prologue? The prologue of a play would be followed by Act 1. Okay, so I was thinking of the body of a document, but Act 1 is a little bit better there. Get too hot. No. Some decks are made for... We're thinking of like a... I was thinking of deck of a ship. There would be a specialty deck for like the lookout or something like that. But is it like the deck of a patio? A deck where you might have a picnic or... I like nothing burger for triviality. Something Ches, C-H-E-S. Refusal to return. Bear straight or something. If something is too hot, it is steam, stir. What's a 4-letter word that begins with S-T? Inaugurated, started. Get too hot. Stat, stit, or stut, or stot. I think those are our only options, and I don't get it. I kind of like Act 1 for what's past prologue. What's 16 down? Attribute or attribute. A trait is an attribute. Oh, 13 down. The Museum der Kulturen overlooks. Yeah, I liked Rhine for that. Is there another river? Raised figure. If this isn't started for inaugurated. Across, no joke. It's real. It's not fake. It's real. No joke. What comes in rounds? Ale. You can buy a round of ale. Bed topper. Refusal to return, to stay at home? Be at home? Net, to net your salary is to earn it. Is it like stay there? Something like that? Is this the princess and the pea, maybe? Although I guess the pea topped the bed, so it went under the mattress in the princess and the pea. That's how you knew she was a real princess. She could tell there was a pea under her mattress. This is nothing that's just making sense. Inaugurated. And raised figure. Dazed and confused. Oh, none of these are helping me. Okay. If you inaugurated something, you started it. That makes perfect sense. What else would it be? How confident am I about Rhine? Boy, I like Act 1 for past prologue. Okay, is it time to think about a hint? Raised figure. What some decks are made of? Raised figure again. I wonder if I Googled Intel CPU. I feel like there's a product or something, some kind of chip that Intel makes, like the speed chip, something like that. I'm going to go ahead and reveal this word in the interest of time. Turbo boost. Okay, I'm going to guess that with Googling, I probably would have been able to figure that out. So rather than reveal a word just for its own sake, I like to think that this is something that I could look up as a concept or as a word or the name of a person and solve it that way. Okay, so what is a raised figure? Like an embossing, a recto or a verso or a statue of some kind. 31 across is barreled. So maybe going back to the sense of moved quickly, you tore through something. Big name in crisis management. And a trail guide. Obol is some kind of figure from typography. Does it come from a trail marker? Is that the original meaning of it? What some decks are made for. This blank of the... Oh, this is a quote I could look up. I'm going to go ahead and reveal this word too. That's 2 reveals. This orb of the earth. So a dog following the trail of an animal would use the odor, the scent. A raised figure, a person who's been raised, is an adult. Deck of cards. This is what decks are made for. Okay, didn't think of that meaning of deck, but Pinochle is a card game. Been there? Is a refusal to return? That doesn't make any sense to me. Inaugurated, swore in. To stew is a method of cooking and also of what, I mean, you're getting angry. So, been there. Refusal to return. Oh, I don't want to return to that place. I've already been there. I don't want to see it again. Been there. Okay, that makes sense. Stew, Pinochle. All right, these all make sense. I had to reveal orb and turbo boost. So I've got 2 reveals in. 20 across is raised figure. Cain. Oh, you raise Cain. I was thinking of Cain and Abel, but he was banished. He wasn't raised. And then I thought of the phrase raising Cain. So he's a figure that is raised, and that's in the idiom. If you are being seeing. Okay, the sea is on top of the sea bed. Yes, you are seeing stars. Or seeing what? Oh, adventuristic is wrong. Okay, well, I was really confident about that. But let's take out adventuristic. Over enthusiastic? That's too long. Overly eager. Okay, we know this O is right because we revealed it. Is a stunt a check in progress? I like seeing stars as dazed and confused. Bless me. Stunt. I like shunt for that, but seeing things? No. Okay. Then direction, a slant. A slash has a slant to it. That is the direction. 32 down. Open positions. Let's try slots for that. We have an open slot. Opportunistic rather than adventuristic. Okay, that makes sense. Adventuristic really threw me off for this section. Seeing stars. Stunt. I don't really understand how that's a check in progress. I guess it's something you're doing to waste time, but yeah, I'll allow it. Slots make sense. Extreme sports or stunts, I don't know. Picks apart. Parses, maybe. St. Bart's is an island where they might take euros. I think it's French territory. Work on a farm. It could be a structure on a farm. It would work in that sense. Emerged, arose. Pretty straightforward there. Goes without. Probably ends in S. Are sprees extreme sports? I'm going on a spree of skydiving or something. Work on a farm. Chores are work on a farm. I'm going to say sprees for extreme sports. Then goes without is, not sure. Break the law by one's own admission. A sharp spasm could be a throb, maybe, like a throbbing pain. Grooming candidates. No, the throes of pain. We get pets and goes without. Moses supposes his toes are roses. None of those make sense. Okay, what else have I got wrong here? Break the law. Scamp. Scarp. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, what have I got wrong here? St. Bart's for the West Indies Isle, taking euros. Chores are work that has to be done on a farm. Emerged. Arose. Loses. Loses and to scalp, like ticket scalp? By one's admission into the sporting event for which you bought the scalped ticket, you break the law by using the ticket. L will finish the puzzle. And let's check it. Oh, shouldn't we get a... You got that right? Or maybe since we used a hint, we don't get it. Let's check the whole puzzle. I probably got something else wrong. Oh, I didn't change. When I changed adventuristic to opportunistic, I forgot to change this N. So I don't feel too bad about that, but that is an error. So Nolan, there we go. And so the clue for 39 down was Filipino language's name. Is that the name of a language, or is it a name that comes from a Filipino language? Nolan is a name, although I think it's more like, I think it's like from Celtic or some European language, but maybe it does come from a Filipino language. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. All right. I'm glad I finally figured out this L and what by one's own admission means there. I don't feel too bad about that N because I knew it was right. I just forgot to change it when I changed the word. I did have to reveal turbo boost. And I probably, what was 22 down? That's big name in crisis management, NATO. Well, maybe that would have come to me if I thought about this for a little bit longer, but jumped out at me as something that I could easily look up. If I looked up Shakespeare, this blank of the earth, I probably would have got orb pretty quick. So that actually probably should have been my first reveal. And I need to look up Turbo Boost. And is that like the brand name of the type of chip that they put in Intel, or is that just a generic word for making something faster? I'm not sure. All right, so 50 minutes, 2 hints, 1 error. So I actually don't feel too bad. I wish I could have gotten it with no hints, but I just didn't get anything. I just didn't understand stew. I had the ST and just couldn't think of a way to end it for get too hot. I did deliberately think, well, what else can deck mean? Like deck is a patio, deck of a ship. I didn't think of a deck of cards, in which case I might have gotten Pinochle because I had that P there. Anyway, yeah, very difficult puzzle, but typical for the Saturday Stumper. Let me know in the comments how you did with this one. And I'd also be interested in your strategy for the Saturday Stumper. I know a lot of people like to, this is a really good puzzle for doing a little bit of it, leaving it aside and coming back. And that's really satisfying when you come back to a puzzle after a while. It's kind of happened in this corner. I didn't get anything in the beginning of this corner. And then when I came back to it later, Gasp and Gab came to me fairly quickly. And then that gave me aces in Act 1. But then I just couldn't finish the corner. But yeah, let me know kind of your strategy for the Saturday Stumper. And please join me on my channel for more puzzles and games. And I'll see you next time. Bye.